And the sad, honest truth of this is, right now, the Republicans really aren't the problem anymore. Sadly, they're not. The problem is actually Democrats. And again, make no mistake, you know, I'm pretty sure most people are like, Obama is a million times better than Bush. Obama would be a million times better than John McCain. Where there's not, and it's better that we have Democrats in charge of the House and the Senate, obviously. Really, he announces the closing of Guantanamo, but he's keeping Bagram open in Afghanistan. He's continuing state secrets for warrantless wiretapping. He's supposedly kinda sorta winding down the war in Iraq, kinda sorta, while escalating in Afghanistan. You know, we could talk forever about the economic crisis, about Geithner and Summers, but is that yeah, well, but really, does anyone, progressives here, has anything that Geithner or Summers done in their life, or even the last few months, okay, just say for some weird example that the Geithner plan on bailing out stuff works. I kind of don't think it's going to. I pray to God that it does. I doubt it, but and look, I'm hoping that it does. I'm not Rush Limbaugh. I don't want the country to fail. I don't want the economy to fail. If it does somehow work, do any of us actually have the confidence that either Geithner or Summers will put in the regulations that are necessary to keep it from happening again? And that's what this all is about. It's like, again, the whole thing about torture. Okay, so Obama releases torture memos. Good. But he's holding back torture photos. He's not really talking about prosecuting. In fact, he seems sort of against it. And again, the whole thing about torture, for me, it's like, if you don't hold the people who tortured accountable, if you don't actually hold them accountable for their war crimes, and let's no lies here, that's war crimes. If you don't, then torture is nothing more than a light switch that any executive can come into the office and say, hey, torture's legal, click, torture's not illegal, click. And it doesn't matter. As long as there's no consequences and all this stuff, if there's no accountability, it's all just, you know, there's no law. There is no law, there's nothing actually left. And again, look, you know, then we can talk about the Blue Dogs, like Ben Nelson and Evan Bayh, those crazy sons of that kid. I'm from Nebraska originally. Don't even get me going on Ben Nelson. But, again, my main point being, like, and look, I'm not even saying about, like, the Blue Dogs. I don't want to go Limbaugh on them either. I don't want to, like, kick Arlen Specter and all the middle roaders out of the party. I'm not against that. But do any of us really feel right now that as progressives, our voice is seriously being considered out there?
No.
No. And you know what? And you know what that is? I think they don't take it, and in some ways, rightfully so, they kind of don't take us seriously, and they kind of don't fear us at all, because they know we're smart. They know that we're not going to go and vote for the Republicans, so they can literally crap on us whenever the hell they want, because we're not going to abandon them. That's the facts. You know, I mean, we're not going to, because you know what? Republicans in office are a million times worse. But again, so then what do we do? You know, so Obama's better, Obama's smarter, Obama's not Bush. Is that good enough for us? Is that good enough for any of you?
No.
It's not good enough for me either. So how do we push the progressive agenda? Rick, I know tonight's going to talk about some historical aspects of this, of how the New Deal got pushed through. He's going to talk about historically how, because I mean, the New Deal wasn't just, it wasn't a magical thing that FDR made. People forced the New Deal upon FDR. This wasn't some magical thing that came in and said, New Deal, I'm going to make it, hooray. You know, no, it was needed like things are needed now, and the public demanded it. And right now, honestly, we're falling down on the job. We're not doing what we need to do. And again, I'm gonna hand this off to these awesome people in a second. Just for my own personal sake, last thing I'm gonna talk about here of how to make them do it. I was recently up in Madison, Wisconsin at the Progressive Conference, and I got to have a moment to talk to Marcy Kaptur. Is anybody familiar with her at all? Yeah. Progressives? If you're not familiar with her, you should be. The Nation magazine gave her, for 2008, the most valuable member of the House for her work in busting balls on the bailout. Something about Ohio, I mean, maybe it's the polluted water that makes really good, like, representatives, like, because we have Kucinich and Kaptur. Kaptur's awesome. I had a good chance to talk to her, and I asked her that and posed that question to her. I said, how do we do it? How do we make our voices heard? How do we get a voice in, how do we get a seat at the table? And her advice was that individually, and this is a lot of work. This is not something that's going to, and again, this isn't a magic bullet. I'm not saying, hey, we're going to do this and everything's going to be fixed and there's going to be rainbows and M&Ms are going to fall from the sky. That's not going to happen. But it's something we can do. Her advice was, it's on specific pieces of legislation, where we're working on healthcare or gay marriage. If for specific things, what you need to do is find out who are on the subcommittees that are writing the bills. And then what you have to do is find out who the subcommittee are. Then you have to find out people in their district and have them physically go to their office in their district. I mean, we should all email, we should all call, probably most of us do that, when there's an issue, you get an email alert from Move On or something like that saying, call your representative, and you shouldn't stop doing that. You shouldn't stop signing petitions. But what we need is an action network of people in specific districts that will physically go to the congresspeople's offices in their towns and going and talk about it. Her actual quote to me was, even the most corrupt politician will pay attention when someone is standing in their office. And I buy it. And her other piece of advice to me, which is one I like even more, is to find out who their donors are and then go to where their donors' offices are. And she said if you can get one of their donors, one of their big money donors, to come to them and talk to them about a specific piece of legislation, odds are they're going to vote the right way because, again, they're tied to their donors. I know Veronica is going to talk about this and something about how we need to amplify our voices up here and about connecting to people we wouldn't normally reach out to. And again, as a white dude, who has this sort of, who's just this, a white cartoonist, blogger, we have to find ways of connecting all of us together and reaching out and finding voices that we aren't doing. And she's going to talk on that, and I can't wait to hear it because I'm down with it.